guys, it's the first day of snow in Bucharest in Romania for 2020, so I've got to go out and have a look, have a bit of a drive. But yeah, it is coming down, a fair bit of snow. So just trying to be a little bit careful here, reversing out. Snow. No matter how many times you see snow, that first snow of the year, you never get tired of it. It's just beautiful. The front of my car is absolutely covered in snow. So guys, it's the 30th of November 2020 in Bucharest. I'm just driving around to get out, have a bit of a drive around in the snow. It's the first snow of the year, so it's always nice to be out in the snow. Yeah, always nice to get out in the snow. But also interesting driving around. There's different driving conditions, obviously. The road's a little bit slipperier, so just got to be a little bit more careful. You can feel it. You can feel it if you go a little bit fast into a corner or something than you normally would, or as you normally would. You just feel it understeer a little bit, and so I just went out. It's not huge snow. They're saying it started about 7-8 this morning. They're saying it should accumulate maybe 10 to 15 centimeters on the ground, which is pretty decent at the end. It's meant to go until 8 p.m. tonight. Come on, fucking jeez. Sorry guys, but the pedestrian crossing right there, and dude just wandering so slow. So I'm actually trying to find what they call a croiteria. It's the barber shop. And there's one along here somewhere. And it's sort of kind of good at snowing, because this place normally is notoriously hard to park. Okay, so there it is on the left, the croiteria. So now that I know where it is, I'll come back around. I'm just going to jump in behind this bus, go right and come back, see if I can find a parking spot. So a lot of the trucks, the reason you don't see a lot of snow on the ground at the moment is because the snow trucks came out early yesterday, like before it even started snowing. You could see the snow trucks coming out and dumping the salt on the roads late at night, so there was obviously not a lot of traffic, so it didn't matter too much. But yeah, they put the salt down in anticipation. So what the salt does is, from what I've learned from reading over the years, is it changes the chemical compound, or changes the chemical makeup of the salt in terms of its freezing point. So it lowers the freezing point of the salt apparently, so it takes a lot more for it to freeze. So yeah, they put the salt down, the snow falls, and it just essentially melts when it comes into contact with the salt, so that keeps the roads clean. And normally when there's big snow, yeah, those trucks will just they will just continue to come around, put snow down all day. So now that I know where that shop is, let's see if I can do a little bit of a park somewhere around there. It's a bit difficult too, because a lot of the streets around here are one way. So you've got to know the road, so you've got to know where you can come back to and go around to. But yeah, for those who love the snow, just something about snow at this time of year, especially around Christmas, it is extra beautiful. So get back around this way, see if we can find a parking spot now. Oh, I should have gone right there. Damn. Do something a bit naughty here. Swing around here. And everybody does this in Romania. It's not really a parking spot, but I'm designating it and making it a parking spot for me for now. if I get in trouble, I get in trouble. But so I shouldn't be long anyway. I just got to go down and drop this thing off, walk down a little bit. I'll just sit here for a sec to see how this traffic goes. The only issue on a really busy day here, you get people that do what I'm doing and they back right up onto this zebra stuff, and it affects the trolley buses and the buses that come through here. Particularly the buses back around this side, they struggle to get through because people just park. This is tame today. You actually get people that will park behind these cars and sort of double park, but this area has all been redone and relined and rezoned lately, which is good. Okay, so I'm going to grab my jacket and go for a walk to this Croiteria and see if they can fix that jacket for me on the spot. Alright, cool. Catch up again shortly. Okay guys, I'm back. I got a coffee from Costa's. Gonna head off. You can't go right up here, that's just for taxis and buses, so you have to go left here. I might go for a little bit of a further drive. Just to continue to show you what it's like at the moment with the snow coming down. Yeah, it's sort of strange. It's kind of sleeting. It's snow, but it's not snow. It's weird. It is snow. It is snow. I shouldn't say that. It's but it's swapping in and out of sleet. So for those that don't know, sleet is obviously when the rain doesn't quite freeze into snow, and it hits the ground or comes down as a mix. I'm just trying to be pretty gentle getting around at the moment because the roads are slippery. They've put down the salt, but the salt doesn't. Whoa! Salt doesn't always work 100% of the time. So especially turning corners like this, you can see the sludge. That's why this time of year you're meant to have your snow tyres on your car legally. So this has got intermediates on it, which are legal. But yeah, anyone that's got their day tyres on only, if the police pull you up and actually check the rating of your tyre and find that you don't have the right rating on, which is either intermediate or snow, then you're in for a pretty big fine. So yeah, like I said, it's swapping. Earlier on, absolute snow. Now I would say it's just bordering on sleet. Yeah, it's still a little bit of snow, but more sort of sleet at the moment. they have said that by 8 p.m. tonight, we're expecting an accumulation of 15 to 20 centimetres on the ground. So I'm not entirely sure if that will happen. Just given that you start to know what 15 to 20 centimetres looks like on the ground, and 15 to 20 centimetres is actually quite a substantial covering. That's a big covering of snow. And at the moment it's not accumulating at all. You can see it on cars and things, but that's not what you consider to be accumulation. So I've driven around Bucharest before, but for those that are new, this is a sort of very touristy area, and you've got the Hilton Athene Hotel over there, you've got the Athenaeum there. On the right here you've got the old, what used to be the Royal Palace, and they've changed it into the Museum for Contemporary Art. It's where they held the public viewing when Regele Mihai, or King Mihai, died a couple of years ago, in there. And Revolution Square over here, very famous of course during the revolution. What the fuck is this guy doing? And in terms of, we know it's snowing etc. today, but in terms of traffic for Bucharest on a Monday, wow, all you can say is this is dead. It's extremely dead today. So the only thing obviously that we can think of, well, I think maybe today is because it's Romania's National Day tomorrow, so it's a public holiday tomorrow. Normally have a big military parade not far from here, just up through Piazza Victoria and through the Arco de Triomphe. But that's not going to happen this year because of Corona. But it is a national holiday tomorrow, so that's probably explains, people taking a long weekend, having the day off today. Also with the weather forecast, the snow, which was pretty accurate this time. I think a lot of people would have seen that and said, yeah, we're definitely taking a long weekend and heading up to Sinaia, Predal, Brasov, go and do a bit of skiing, play in the snow, because obviously if it's snowing like this here, it's going to be magnified up in the mountains. So this is Piazza Romana, metro station for Piazza Romana there. Fairly central area. I used to come here a hell of a lot when I first got to Romania, because it was easy. It was where my first apartment was for a start. Had a metro station which was very convenient, some nice restaurants and things nearby. So yeah, I used to come here a fair bit, and there's a Romanian, well, it's actually from Moldova, but it's a franchise of restaurants called La Placinte. And La Placinte is restaurants that serve traditional Romanian food. Just went past the police car there. They were sitting watching that intersection, because a lot of people do U-turns there, which I was going to do as well, which you're not really supposed to do there. So they're watching that like an eagle. But also I've got my GoPro in my hand, tucked away against the steering wheel, which I don't particularly like to do when there's police cars around, because they can mistake it for a mobile phone. And if they do mistake it for a mobile phone, then you get in a little bit of trouble. But see all the flags out. That's what I do love about Romania on national days. On its national day, I mean, all the flags come out. Everybody gets very patriotic. I don't know if these are lit up yet, but see all the decorations. One thing I do love about, the other thing about Bucharest, is they do Christmas lights and things so well. You know, yeah, you can argue it's a waste of money and, you know, better spent on other things, but but they do lights and things very well, and they look spectacular at night, especially along the really long boulevards heading out to Banasa, to the airport, and that they're just, yeah, spectacular. So just trying to give you a little bit of more of a look around the central area, and like I say, can be very touristy, because a lot of tourists come here and they base themselves out of here. Yeah, sorry, they base themselves out of the centre of town, because, yeah, it's nice and convenient, and there's a lot of shops and restaurants around here that are very easy to get to. So I spent a lot of time walking up and down along here when I first got here. Used to walk to the supermarket pretty much directly ahead. you get a lot of your trendy shops down here, your Gucci and things that you normally do in a lot of big cities. And the Radisson Blue Hotel up here on the right is where a lot of visitors tend to stay. I mean, it's just a Radisson at the end of the day. I mean, Radisson's Radisson. It's not overly special, but the Radisson Blue maintains a very high standard and is actually one of the most populated Radissons around the place. Pompieri or Smurd. I tell you what, hats off to those guys. Hats off to them. You know, at the moment they're calling all the hospital workers and everything, they're calling them the heroes in white, or Heroi in Alb. And I totally agree, you know. I mean, countries like Australia, New Zealand, you know, they've sort of got corona under control, but it never was huge. You know, a couple of hundred cases here and there, and, you know, less than 1,000 cases in total in Australia. So it never was massive. And, you know, the hospital staff worked hard to get it under control, but it's really quarantine measures that, you know, stop the damage. But I tell you what, here, wow, somewhere like here and other areas in Europe, you just got to take your hats off to the hospital workers, the ambulance staff. You know, a lot of them don't get huge salaries here, but, you know, they're working their asses off around the clock, you know. And I know that for a fact, because my partner's sister's a nurse, you know, and she, you know, the shifts they've been pulling, double shifts, extra time. Yeah, absolute heroes, all of them, especially here where resources are tight and, you know, budgets are not always the best, and like I said, salaries are not huge. So all those ambulance workers you see roaring around, it's non-stop. It's just been, for months it's been non-stop. You know, I live in the city, and in Sector 1, you know, and I live not far from one of the military hospital, and yeah, it's just non-stop. It's been sirens, ambulances, every day, all night. So yeah, take my hats off to all those people, because they've done a hell of a job saving lives here, and yeah, they're worth their weight in gold for sure. So a little bit of covering on the ground. It's nothing like the 15 to 20 centimeters they're talking about, but it is a covering on the ground nonetheless. it's pretty light now. It's almost just spitting a bit of snow and a bit of sleet at the moment. So I hope somebody's got something out of this and you've enjoyed a little bit of a drive around Bucharest in November, late November, day before the national holiday on the 1st of December, on what is our first snow day of the year. I'm just going to go up the end of the road and just go see if the market is still on. I'm just curious to find out if the market is still on up the end of the road. So I've made a video before in the market up here. It's the market at the military academy, the National Military Academy. It's a small traditional market. That's the new Eroilo 2 or Eroilo 2 train station. It's been a few years in the making, so they've opened it up now, which is great. Opened up a couple of months ago now. I haven't been yet, which I've got to do. I'm just, you know, it's one of the bittersweet things about driving. You know, it's great being able to drive now. But by the same token, you get lazy driving. You know, I used to walk everywhere every day, and I'm a big firm believer in public transport, because I just think in somewhere like Bucharest, where you actually do have a really, really good public transport system, and it's not just giving it token, that's giving it praise, because it is a good public transport system, despite what people say. You know, some of the trams and the buses may be a bit old and a bit run down, but so police there, a couple of graders waiting to grade the snow. Yeah, I religiously take the public transport. You know, I love catching the buses, the trolley buses, the trams, and you know, there's very good coverage with it, and they do stop everywhere. You can see a couple of buses here, and the blue ones have only been in for about a year and a half. Yeah, roughly a year and a half. They started getting those new blue buses in. They bought them from Turkey. Somebody said they had a few issues with them. I don't know what issues those were, but apparently they had a few issues with them. But yeah, it's just a great way to see the city too. You know, if you want to cheaply just hop on something like the trolley bus and go and see the city, you can. So there goes a grader truck with a bucket on the back. The only thing I'd comment on today is difficulty-wise is the lanes on the road. Obviously, if they're not painted, you can't see them that well, especially in this slush. So you sort of got an idea where they are. You just sort of aim to where you think the lane is, and hopefully hopefully you get it right. So the market is normally in there. It's definitely not on today. And like I said, here the lanes just sort of completely disappear. Like I'm just roughly aiming at where car tracks are going. Now you can pick up the lane again a little bit. So as long as everybody drives sensibly and realises that it's raining and snowing and you need to be a bit more careful, then no problem. But I'm not going to say anything yet, because so far today it's actually been, by Bucharest standards today, it's actually been pretty good. Touch wood. Don't have any wood to touch, so I touch plastic. But there's the Arroyo Doi entrance again. This whole area was blocked off for a couple of years behind fences, and they've actually done a really nice job. Those domes look pretty cool. The park area looks good. They've put up there's a new metro entrance over here that never used to be there. Escalators going down. I just hope they've put in proper lifts this time, like enough lifts. Arroyo was one of the stations that had no disability access, so I think they have now. They must have done. Those two big buildings over there on the left where the camera's pointing, that's Radio House, or Casa Radio. So built during the Ceausescu times. It was going to be where he was going to centralise all media, but never quite got happening. Never quite happened. And these things have been these huge buildings, beautiful, you know, just massive massive structures, but they're just sitting there. They've been derelict for a long time. I think people have proposed to build a hotel, a few other things, but yeah, nothing's really taken off there yet. So on my left here, I have on my left here is where the camera's pointing is the Dumbovica. So the Dumbovica River, which runs through Bucharest, source of drinking water and things like that as well. It's been cleaned up a lot. It's still got a lot to go, but there are areas that they've regenerated where you can go and rent during summer now. You can go and rent kayaks and things like that and paddle around, which never used to be the case. No one used to enjoy it because it was dirty and polluted. And so yeah, very different to the videos I've made in, you know, 6 months ago. Obviously, anyone that's watched them, you see the different seasons. So yeah, this is real winter. So we're still on 0 degrees at the moment, and what's the time now? According to my watch, 11 AM. So 11 AM, 0 degrees. People may recognise this place as well. I've been here before. This is Orhidea. The Carrefour shopping centre. A few other shops, or the Orhidea Plaza, Orhidea shopping centre. Oh, there's my poor doggy over there curled up. I hope he's okay. I've brought him food before. Sometimes he just ignores the food, so I got the feeling that he was actually pretty well looked after, and that he does have somewhere to sleep. I think the shopping centre people actually keep an eye on him and feed him. That's what I'm hoping, but he's all tucked up there, and I hope he's okay. So I might go and get some food for him tomorrow if I come and do a bit of shopping tomorrow. So yeah, I just thought I'd do a loop through here just to finish the video off before I get home. That's the Starbucks I normally go to grab a coffee. Like I said, I was never a huge fan of Starbucks, but this one actually seems to make fairly decent coffee. That's just stronger than I find at other Starbucks. It's not like just drinking warm milk. You actually taste the coffee here. These are all transport gratuit pentru client, so they're all the free client transport buses. Which are put on by Carrefour. So it's good, they do a good service. You can come out the back door here and just work out which bus is going when and where, and get a free ride home with all your goodies. See all the steam coming out from the road, the vents. So that was one of the other things that Ceausescu did here was he wanted to heat the city completely. That was part of his vision. So he built the big tubing underground, all the pipes that pump hot water around the city and underneath the city. So his vision was to heat the pavements and heat and it became, yeah, there's a lot of homeless people. I don't know if they still do, I'm assuming they would, but a lot of homeless people, particularly around areas like Gara de Nord, the main train station in the city, actually made their homes underground around the heating pipes, because it gives them a lot of warmth during winter. A little puppy with his jacket on, going for a walk. Oh, I've done it again today too. Keep forgetting that in the last few days we've had road work going on up here. This lane actually ends. Okay guys, well, we're heading almost home for me. definitely is empty today. This is a school just here, and normally the street here is just packed with cars. Again, parents, teachers, obviously, picking their kids up. Alright, well, head down and see if I have a parking spot left down here. Great if I did. I think we can manage this one. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed that drive around. Not sure how long that was, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Hope you enjoyed it. But I'm going to sign off now, finish my coffee that I bought when I started this.